Good evening and welcome to another episode of Apolitically Incorrect Guyana. My name is KIAN Jabour and as usual, I am your host this evening. Unfortunately, Mr. Jonas cannot join me today, but I'm sure he'll be back next week. I've had an interesting couple of days, as I'm sure many of you, if not all of you know, where I've been put in a very peculiar situation. I think what has happened is I think we've started now to see the true colors of what these political rivals are willing to do and the lengths they're willing to go. And I think it's important that I start this show off by speaking a little bit about my intentions. In 2018, I was part of the launching of a new and united Guyana, ANUG. And I got into politics because I felt that I had to contribute to Guyana in some way. It's my home, it's my daughter's home. People here were and are suffering. APNU at the time was doing a horrible job. We had just come out of 20 years plus reign of the PPP with corruption, and APNU came in and didn't do it much better or better at all. And I decided, you know what, I'm at the age, I'm privileged in many aspects of life, and if I can help, I should help. And I decided to get into politics and I decided to join ANUG. We contested the 2020 election. And what occurred over those 5 months, I believe, was a testament to what ANUG stands for. We ensured that we were there for the ballot boxes, guarding. We were there in Ashman's building when there were bomb threats, when the police threatened us. We were there when the recount had to happen. Every single day I was there in that conference center. APNU bullied us. APNU called us names. APNU threatened us. APNU spread lies and propaganda against all of ANUG's members and all political opposition at the time. And it was vile attacks. It was unnecessary. It was personal. And ANUG stood there and we continued for democracy. ANUG fought for democracy. We fought to ensure a political party got into power that they rightfully won, even though we didn't support them, because that is democracy. We had nothing to gain from it. ANUG knew we didn't win any particular prize. Our votes were not that many at the time, but we made sure that we still did what was right by Guyanese. Now, the PPP have gone into power after all that, after we stood up to APNU and their bullyism and victimization. And we're here now with the PPP in power, showing that they are corrupt. They're willing to stoop to every length possible to discredit anyone that speaks against them. They will attack in the most vile and nasty ways possible. They will attack your family, your personal character, everyone around you. Because all the nasty PPP trolls out there and all the party members out there that have posted and said all the most vile things that they could, just waiting for the opportunity to pounce, whether or not it's factual or not, goes to show how downright disgusting the PPP are. And over the last 2 days, they have plastered me all over the news that I have stole electricity. They have plastered up old situations that have been resolved in my life, that have been dealt with all over the place, just to attack me. Just because I stand up here every week, every day on my social media platforms, and I make sure I fight for what's right. A lot of you know a lot of my personal history. And just to speak a little personally about me, you know I'm a dual citizen. I'm not hiding it. But I need to make sure that there's a minority government, and I will do everything I can to ensure that. I have a lot more to gain by not being in politics and not having my name tarnished like this. But the same way we didn't give up on democracy in 2020, I will not be bullied by the PPP. I will not allow them to tarnish my reputation and those around me just because they don't like what I'm saying, just because I'm speaking the truth about them. They are a corrupt party. They are stealing from this country. And I will continue to say it, and I will make sure that I'm there in 2025, because we have to do better for our children. We have to do better for the citizens of this country. I will not be bullied. ANUG will not be bullied. And we will be there in 2025, ensuring that we create a minority government, because this country has seen what the PPP and APNU are about, and they are not what's best for this country anymore. It's downright nasty, and what they're willing to do to stay in power, to continue to steal, to continue to enrich their friends and family, it has to come to an end at some point. And I'm here to do my best for it. I'm not here to gain anything from this. All right? There are people that are part of ANUG that will do a much better job in government than I will, and I'm happy to watch them get there. Because what's happening in this country has to come to an end when it comes to the corruption, when it comes to the friends and family enrichment, when it comes to the lies, when it comes to the bullying, when it comes to these people thinking they own this country. I watched the vice president of this country, not a village, not a community. I watched the vice president, Bharat Jagdeo, at a press conference yesterday, state that he and his government is not prosecuting anybody that's speaking out against them. Yet, a known character, Melly Mel, has had drugs planted in her family's, outside her family's yard over the past week. I have had the PPP machinery, you can check all their sites all over, plaster that I'm a thief and I've been stealing electricity. I don't even have an account with GPL. And we have watched these people spread the nastiest lies and rumors about us just because we are speaking out against them and their corruption. But it's only going to make us louder. All right? This is not going to deter us. I didn't get into this thinking that this was going to be a smooth ride. It is extremely disappointing to know that the PPP themselves, who we helped in 2020, ensure that they rightfully got into government. It's disgusting to watch the lengths and how stooped they would go in order to attack people like myself that fought alongside them in 2020, who fought against APNU and their rigging in 2020. But now that the foot is on the shoe's on the other foot, it's really, really disheartening to see that these people that promise to do better when they go in are just as nasty. Just as downright disgusting. And we've watched the news, the media propaganda. We've watched Newsroom. We've watched all their commentators, the Don Singhs and the Robin Singh. And we've watched the Live in Guyana. And we've watched the GY News or whatever it is. And we watched all their trolls post all over. I think a couple of the ministers posted. We had the vice president of this country speak about this in a press conference. The allegations against the two people that are speaking out against the government. To know that they have gone to this length just to discredit people that are challenging their corruption goes to show who they really are. Now, I think probably what was most disheartening about this entire scenario is the fact that right-minded Guyanese are sitting here now wondering to themselves, do we have any opportunity for better in this country? Is a government like the PPP going to keep ruling and bullying and taking advantage of citizens and stealing? Or are we going to be able to move forward? Are we going to be able to progress? Now, we've been watching in the media for a long, long time the corruption playing out. We've been watching, APNU lick their wounds from the 2020 election. And we feel as Guyanese that we're stuck in a rock and a hard place. Now, I know that there are Guyanese out there that are afraid to speak. I'm happy to be the voice for them. I'm happy to take the victimization. Okay? I will not stop. I will not be more quiet. This will only make me louder. And I know Guyanese out there are scared. But this is a democracy. And there can't be bystanders in democracy. There's no room in a democratic society for people to be silent. We're watching the corruption. We're watching those that are gaining the riches from this kinds of government and this kind of style of ruling, enrich themselves and spread lies and slander about everyone that's calling them out on it, while all right-minded Guyanese know what's happening and are scared to speak out. But it's time that people start opening their mouths. It's time that you start stepping up. This is now. We have 1 year until elections. Okay? I need all Guyanese to get involved now. All right? I have and I will face even more attacks from the vile PPP. Okay? I know it's coming. They're going to twist everything as much as they can. They're going to make up more lies. They're going to do everything they can to make sure that they discredit me. But you know what will help? You know what will ensure that this country moves forward? Is when all of you start speaking up. It can't just be on a handful of us. It can't just be on Melly Mel and myself and Francis Bailey and Timothy Jonas. Okay? We need more people speaking up. They're going to make up lies and spread propaganda about the few of us that are doing it. And if all of us get on board and start calling them out for their lies, start sharing these things on Facebook, start ensuring that they know that Guyanese are going to hold them accountable, then that's the only way that we're going to move forward. This is a call to all of you right-minded Guyanese out there that want better for this country, that are watching me get attacked for stealing electricity when truck drivers are destroying roads. Okay? When contractors are driving piles and disrupting electricity flow in this whole country, millions and millions and millions of dollars being lost by all of us collectively, yet nothing is happening to those people. Those contractors, are not being held accountable. Those truck drivers that are blasting through the streets, killing people, breaking up the roads, those people are not being they're not going after them. The corruption in the police force, from the top down, they're not going after them. But yet me, who doesn't even have an account at GPL, who rents a property to run his business, is being attacked. And that is what this government, this government that wants to unify the people, that's the direction that they decided to go in. That's what you call accountability. But if you are watching and you're one of those people that are hoping for contracts and you have a job and you're scared to speak out, I understand you, and I know, I get it. I get it. I'm a businessman. I've been attacked. You've seen it. Okay? But we can't sit down on the sidelines anymore. I'm doing it. I'm going to continue doing it. And I'm hoping all of you can join me. All right? Now, for all of you that might not be aware of what I'm speaking about here, I'm going to bring up just a few clips over the past couple of days, 2 or 3 clips. This first one was on Newsroom, and it says, it has a picture of myself and Melly Mel and Jagdio in the middle, and says, dismisses claims of political persecution amid drug find and electricity theft revelations. Now, what's amazing about this is that this Newsroom, I think if anything at all, that headline is the ultimate proof of political persecution. That's a joke. You have now one of the main news outlets in this country, obviously PPP led, because these are all allegations. have put up a headline that states that there is no political persecution here, yet no proof of any drugs has been found with Melly Mel. That court case has now started against the police force, led by Nigel Hughes and team. And then there was my situation, in which I don't even have an account at GPL, so I'm not sure how I'm stealing electricity. Will be clarified in a few minutes. Luckily, I've had my landlord speak and clarify on the matter. But let me just show you how nasty certain other people are. I'm going to ask you to just bring up the other two clips. This one was a newspaper headline by one of the PPP newspapers. Anug chairman KIAN JABOUR caught stealing electricity. And then what's funny about it, just a little side note, Anug executive charged with assaulting ex-girlfriend. What are we even speaking about? Why? Like, this is the vile nastiness that came out yesterday. That's how vile and disgusting the PPP is. Now, I bring up the last one. This is one of the chief commentators that is really just a sad excuse of a commentator. You know, it's not even worth my breath. But anyways, I bring it up so everybody can understand what happens in the future. Now, here he is posting on his personal Facebook page. Breaking news. KIAN JABOUR of Anu caught stealing electricity from GPL. Another case of political victimization or a dishonest thief. Now, what's amazing about this is GPL has not released a statement on this yet. Anil Nandala's brother is the CEO of GPL. So I'm sure they're going to concoct something to come out with soon, even though nothing can have my name on it because I don't have an account. So we'll see what happens. But the length that these people will go really goes to show how vile and vindictive they are. Okay, how nasty and low they're willing to go. And then his brother Don Singh and I saw Quincy, God only knows who they are. You guys know all of them. It's the same accounts over and over. Just a really sad state of affairs for people. And what's sad even more about these people is they don't know that at the end of this situation, Barra Jagdeo and Irfan Ali and those guys, they're politicians. They're going to be around. They're going to be a part of the PPP and they're going to be there. These guys are going to get left at the side when the time comes, when accountability reaches and the government has to be held accountable. They're the ones that are going to get thrown to the wayside. They're the ones that are going to get left with nothing. They're the ones that are going to have a tarnished reputation. And honestly, other than what is to come, I do pity them because this is the only way they can survive, right? They don't have anything else. They're people that out there, these are all the leeches on the PPP government that are just trying to make a dollar and singing for their supper. So it's sad, but it's the reality of what the government wants. Somebody like Barra Jagdeo, if you look at the people he keeps around him, he doesn't keep strong, educated, vibrant people around him. He keeps the weak ones that he can control. He keeps the ones that have nastiness over their head. So when he says jump, they have to scream how high or he'll cut their money off. He'll cut their food off. He'll make sure that they get left to the dogs. So they're scared of not being by his side. And that's the kind of people that are running this country. All right. It's a sad state of affairs, but unfortunately, for them, all these things must come to an end at some point. And my goal is 2025 because I will be loud. Now, I'm going to bring up something now that all of you have seen those kind of things that have been spreading all across social media and people have been posting and sharing, and lots more of that. I'm going to bring up now the video in which my landlord has clarified what exactly took place. And you guys can have a look at it and you know, assess on your own. Hey guys, KIAN JABOUR here, the owner for Taco Loco, which has been caught up in some controversy lately. And I think it's only right for me to spread a little bit of clarity on what has occurred. But better than I explain, I've asked my landlord, David, to come downstairs and explain what is going on with the GPL situation, as Taco Loco nor KIAN JABOUR have any accounts at GPL. So I'm allowing the account holder here to just explain a little bit more what exactly is going on and has happened.
Hi everyone, I'm David, one of the landlord for the property. I was asked by Mr. Jabour to come down and clear the air a bit on this issue. What happened is that a few months ago, a car on Aubrey Road hit the pole at the corner, brought down all the power lines. Emergency team came to try to rectify the issue. During the process of rectifying the issue, they said they can't restore power to our building because our meter box is burnt. However, I explained to them that we got the kids to school, we can't leave the premise for the next day, I got to prepare, and we can't leave the premise without power overnight. They went ahead, connect, they said okay, they're going to go ahead, they connect the power. and the team going to reach out back to us and let us know what's the way forward. The next day, the following day, a team reached out to us. They came to us and said that currently there are no meters available to replace this prepaid meter box, and however they're going to send another team and they're going to reach out to us when a box is available and what's the next step forward from there. From since then, we never heard back anything from them. Nobody came to us and gave us an update what's happening. Yesterday, a new team came. They said that a new team came. They said they were instructed to do an inspection. They conducted the inspection. The findings were that they said that they found that it's an illegal connection. They have a strict connection to the building. However, I explained to them that it's not so. This is the incident that happened and what had occurred. They still went ahead. They said, okay, they had to write up the report. They went ahead, they wrote up the report. I signed up the report, and that's it here. We're here. At this moment. Yeah. So Kian, so that's basically what happened.
I appreciate the explanation, David. I hope that little synopsis.
Have it. I think that video clarifies as much as I can. Nobody was attempting to steal anything. This was not a situation where somebody wanted to do wrong. GPL themselves are the most inefficient company in the world. They have no credibility. So you know what has taken place there. I can't tell you the amount of people that have called me and said, I'm in the exact same position right now. Because the GPL doesn't even have any meters at the moment. Okay, so places don't have a choice but to do what they did. And everyone's still waiting, but guess what? They decided because it's me, they're going to attack. And as I told Instagram a few seconds ago, I must admit, I do take this as somewhat of a compliment. Because at the end of the day, what we've realized now is that this government, Barajagdio and his team a team of rabid dogs will try everything they can to discredit anybody that's calling them out on their corruption and their bullshit. Now, here's an interesting, somebody brought this up to me just today. They called me and they said, have you ever watched or read Animal Farm? Now, they brought up this character called, there's Napoleon. He's the head, right? Which is Barajagdio in this case. And then, by the way, this book is banned in Guyana. It's very interesting, and I encourage all of you to go out and take a look at it, or to have a read. There's this character called Squealer. Now, Squealer's job is to take whatever message that the Napoleon says and go and spread this propaganda and twist and turn every situation to this positive light to make sure that these figureheads look good and everything can be looked at with rose-colored glasses and everything is great and there are no problems, even though all they're doing is trying to control people and oppress them, or animals in this case. And what's interesting is one of the things that the Squealer did is he recruited or stole this pack of dogs that he then recruited as his minions to kind of go out there and threaten and bully and drive fear into anyone that's challenging Squealer and his Napoleon and the ringleaders. And when you look at that book and that scenario, it's amazing because it's exactly what's happening in Guyana. Now there's these tiers of and the dogs, they're singing for their supper, right? They go and attack because they're being fed and so on. So it's amazing to watch how this book written about, Russia and communism has really spread, if you just take some time and read it, you'll understand what exactly the strategy is of the PPP and the PNC. And you're watching it predominantly now with the PPP. And they're going to try everything they can to ensure that they stay in power. They will get as nasty and vile as they need to, just like APNU did. They are just like APNU. All right? And I need people to start seeing that. This group of people that is stealing from this country with every opportunity they can. It's just reached a point now where everyone is seeing it and it's time we stand up and speak up. Now, I'm going GPL, people are messaging me on Facebook. Guys, feel free to message me on Facebook. I'm happy to answer some comments. With my phone. Oh, but what I'm going to show you now, and this is my second topic. I think I've spoken about this, and I think all of you have had enough of understanding what the PPP and their nastiness is about and why you need to get on board. But I'm going to bring up something that's very close to me here. Now, this headline, I'm going to turn it for you guys. This headline is very interesting. So this is the headline from this morning or yesterday. Government invites proposals for second power plant at Wales. Now, I was supposed to attend this, somebody invited me to attend with them, this energy conference mixer thing that AmCham was holding, in which the government obviously, took over the show and had and had their spiel about their plans for the future, as it was based around this situation, this gas to energy project. And, I didn't go. I thought about it for a little while, and people were trying to. I was with a group, and the person invited me, and they said, "Yes, you should go. This is something you speak about a lot," and I decided not to go, based on the fact that I can't allow myself to sit in silence while the government speaks about those kinds of propaganda and lies and manipulation of a project like that gas to energy project, and not stand up for Guyanese that are being shafted for generations to come. Now, I know there are people out there that have their jobs and, that can't speak out on things like this, but I'm sorry, at some point, people have to realize that some type of selflessness has to prevail if you want better for Guyana, if you want better for your family. Now, that gas to energy project is something that has been shoved down Guyanese throats for, I guess, 4 years now, since the PPP got into power. This came off the heels of their 2011 and beyond concept of the Amelia Falls project, which I think I'm going to start on as a basis because I want everyone to know this. ANUG didn't exist as a third party in 2011. We only were created in 2018. That is after the minority government was created. That's after the Amelia Falls project was squashed by APN UAFC. Now, I will tell you right now, I know that project was riddled with corruption. I can even go as far as stating I understand why APN UAFC had to challenge it. What I will say is strictly based on my ideologies, strictly based on what I believe is best for future generations of this country. I believe that a renewable project is necessary. And I believe a project like Amelia Falls is necessary. And I believe it's something that should have happened. And I still hope that it's something that can happen. All right? Now, moving forward with the situation and predicament that we're currently in, is the government has decided that they no longer want to go renewables now that oil and gas has flourished and they're making lots of money on it, to the point where they have put this country so far in debt for the next 20 years for Exxon and well, whoever's going to be funding this project, because right now taxpayers are, citizens are, and they have come up with this project that they said we need to run a natural gas pipeline from the rig to Wales, and we are going to put a power plant there, and we are going to supply this country. Now, for 4 years, they have told us that power plant is going to supply enough electricity for 50 years. Okay? They have promised us that it's going to bring electricity costs down by 50%. Okay? We have challenged this project by stating this is not the direction the world should be going in, much less somebody like us that's now setting foot in new energy projects. We should be going renewables. We should not be going to fossil fuel power plants, which is what that gas to energy project is. Now, first of all, by them stating that we are now accepting proposals for a second power plant at the same location, stating that the amount of gas that's coming through the pipeline can sufficiently supply two power plants, which nobody disagrees with. But at the same time, we have so many other options but to take that natural gas and sell it, get rid of it, give it to countries that are already dependent on it. You can liquefy it, put it on a ship and sell it. Okay, we don't need to become more dependent on it. Now you have shoved this project down our throats. You have promised us that this will be enough electricity for 50 years. You, within the last 3 days, have already decided that that one power plant at Wales will not be enough. And then they go to this AmCham event, they go to these government structured events, and they say, look at what we're doing. Look how positive this is. We're going to build a second one. Now, first of all, you have blatantly now lied. There's no feasibility even for the first power plant. So you are blatantly lying when you said that that is enough power, because now you're claiming we're going to need more power, which, let's be honest, the blackouts and so on, I hear the cries of the people. But you've already put us $3 billion in debt, promising that this natural gas power plant, which you are already spending on, will solve our problems. Before this power plant is even built, you've already decided 2 days ago or yesterday or whenever that this power plant, we don't need another one. So nothing was done properly. There was no feasibility done properly. You have just pulled numbers out your ass and lied. How can you now, before the first power plant even start building, you done building, tendering for a second one? That's crazy. That means you don't know what you're doing. You are incompetent. You are lying. The government of Guyana is lying about the gas to energy project. Okay? Now, here's their second lie. Remember the cry all the PPP people have been preaching over and over, that there's going to be a 50% reduction in in electricity cost. So if there's a 50% electricity cost reduction based on the figures of one power plant, now that you're going to build 2 power plants, does that not mean our debt is going to go up? Does that not mean we're going to be in debt longer? Does that not mean we need to pay more now? So you are already lying again, because you cannot bring the electricity cost down that much, because you are putting us further in debt, and that it will not be economical or feasible. And the joke about this, the disgusting joke about this, is I know what this government is capable of, and I can see them running that power plant, that gas ashore project, at a loss, ensuring that they will get voted back into power, and our future generations, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, we will all be screwed over. Because we'll be stuck with that debt, and GPL will be a shit show again, and the Wales project will be crumbling with no maintenance, no proper working situation, and this is where we'll end up back. Okay? Now, let me get to fourthly on this project. Fourth. Okay? Now, this one is despicable. People keep asking, why don't you guys get more into GPL and what's wrong with it and how to resolve blackouts? Well, let's start with the main problem when it comes to power in this country. It is our transmission lines. Okay? We are at about a 26% loss reduction. This is coupled by every 2 days a man knocking down a post in Berbice and the whole country get blackout. Or a construction contractor driving piles somewhere, God only knows where, and the whole country getting blackout, millions of dollars being lost by taxpayers and citizens, children not being educated, food spoiling, hospitals suffering. It's disgusting what's going on. Then they come out birds pecking wires at the power ship. They came up with a solution. They can bring in 4, 5, 10 used generators a year ago. Look at where we are. Where are the generators now? They bring in, is there a second power ship here already? I honestly, I don't even know. So all these things that billions of dollars are being spent on, they just pulling out of their ass. There's no studies with this. They're not finding any solution. They're just trying to pretend like they're doing work, but they're not doing anything. They're just spending money and pocketing half of it. Now, back to the transmission and line loss. If you are if you know that your main problem is the transmission lines, all them wires and lantern posts all over the place with birds' nests all over them and wires hanging all over the place, etc., and you know we have 26% line loss, if you go and put not one, but 2 power plants all the way at Wales, you have to now extend the infrastructure of the lines, of the power lines. You have to extend that length and then add it onto our already decrepit electricity distribution system. If I have to spell this out for you, how bad that's going to be, then I don't know what to tell you. Now, it reminds me of a story that happened just recently at May's school. Now, there's been blackouts, non-stop blackouts. The place has been hot. We've been going through a heat stroke. Yes, climate change is real, but yet we're building 2 more gas-to-energy projects. What a joke. We clearly have no care for our future generations when it comes to environmentally being conscious now so that they have a future. Anyway, Mays then decided that they're going to put air conditions in all their classrooms. And what has inevitably happened? The system became overloaded. Okay, the wiring and the breakers and all the systems that they have set up there couldn't take the load from all the excess, all the new electricity that's required. Now, what's amazing about this is everyone knows that that's exactly, you can see from 100 miles away, that's exactly what's going to happen with this energy project, with this gas. You have 2 projects that you are now putting up there, and you're now going to feed a decrepit system. You don't think we're going to have transformers exploding? You don't think you're going to have wires burning with all this new electricity passing through? You don't think you're going to have issues? These people are like, it's... How can you not see that these people don't care? They're just stating things for headlines, not caring. Now, like I said, I couldn't sit down. Robbie, what's happening there? It might be the TV coming off. I couldn't sit down in that conference yesterday and allow myself to hear that and know that my child is going to suffer 10, 15, 20 years from now. But nobody is going to sit there. I know that people, I'm not standing there telling you, you guys should, throw red paint around, or chain yourself to the stage. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, but you guys have to speak up. At some point in time, you guys have to accept what's happening in this country is wrong. They are screwing our future generations. Instead of that power plant, that second power plant, why can they not build a renewable energy power plant? Why can they not build land of many waters? You're telling me we can't find one river in this country that they can build a dam on and they can create sustainable electricity, cheap sustainable electricity from? You're telling me you can't find any space to open up a solar farm? Is it Donald Trump the other day that said wind power is going to cause cancer? Geothermal? What about the waves? Like, there's so many options. And what the thing is about, just so you understand, do some research. What all the countries that are using renewable energies are doing is nobody depends on one single source of renewable energy. They take solar, hydro, wind, geothermal, and they put them all together as one. Okay, and they use all of them because when the sun goes down, the breeze still blowing. When the water flowing, the sun up, the breeze blowing, and all of it is contributing all at the same time. That's how this works. Okay, so you don't need to worry about batteries and all of the, oh my gosh, it's going to cost so much, it's so bad for the environment. It's not that I'm stating that these have zero impact. I mean, this is not a situation where, oh, but building those things bad for the environment as well. That's not the conversation. Building a power plant is bad. But at the end of it, the electricity that's produced by the renewable energy resources is clean. It doesn't burn fossil fuel. It's not shooting up smoke. Okay, it doesn't damage the environment anymore. There's no gas coming through and pollution. There's no risk of it exploding. Now, there's no cancer threats, but Then you have the natural gas power plant, which is a fossil fuel power plant, which is burning. Now, let me make this clear to all of you. That gas is natural gas coming up from the oil wells. As oil comes up, natural gas comes up, and they burn it in the power plant to make electricity. And smoke goes up and it kills the environment, and it has a horrible eco-friendly footprint. Now, I heard the cries, oh, but we are net zero in Guyana. We have a big forest that we are sustaining and we are protecting so we can afford to build power plants, natural gas power plants. No, that's the wrong ideology. That's the wrong theory. We are good. We are net zero, yes. So we should be doing what's best for the environment continuously. If we can become the most clean energy country, if we can become the most net zero, I don't even know it's a thing, net, minus 100, we can become so self-sustenant. We can become this country that the world will base conservation and sorry, I'm shorting. I'm trying to say renewable energy, but sustainability on. But instead, this government is shoving natural gas, fossil fuel power plants with an S now, down our throats, and we're just accepting it? Why? Why can they not take that natural gas, liquefy it, put it in a boat and sell it? Why are we becoming dependent on it now? It doesn't make sense. Now, what's even worse about this, and this is not an attack on oil companies, but I'm sorry, Exxon is a private company, okay? When the oil price drops, Exxon is going to slow down, okay? Don't worry about all the bullshit, whoever's spreading propaganda, no, Exxon is here forever and they love us and blah, blah, blah. Exxon is a business, they're here to make money, okay? And when that business becomes less profitable, they're going to shrink like every other business has to, okay? Now, the one part of that is that we are now depending on their operations for natural gas. But what scares me the most is not the dependency on, Exxon and their operations. What scares me is that we have this private company now that is in control of the pipeline. They've paid for the pipeline, just so you know. We borrowed, future oil. We're paying them with our oil money for the pipeline that they've already built. And this company now will be able to look at Guyana and say, well, if they wanted to, I hope they don't, but they can say, listen, we want to renegotiate the deal. We want 70%. No, we don't want 50% anymore. Government of Guyana says, absolutely not. We're not accepting that. We're not giving you 70%. ExxonMobil says, well, if you don't give us 50%, we're going to shut down shop. We'll move over. We're moving over to Suriname. Suriname got plenty of gas, so we're moving over there. What happens to our natural gas power plants? What happens? Now, you guys have all sold the dream and you're like, no, Exxon is our energy partner and they are here for the betterment of Guyanese. I see the billboards, I watch it. Exxon is a business. They're here to make money, not better our lives. Yes, it might be a spin-off because we're making money based on what they're doing, but I'm sorry. They're here to look out for their shareholders, not for Guyanese, all right? So, with that said, guys, there are so many aspects of this that we need to worry about, all right? And if you can't see by now that the government is downright lying on this gas to energy project, and I'm sorry, bits and pieces of me sit down there and say, geez, I really wish I was there yesterday to say something. But the truth is I probably would have just walked out. I'm not here to cause a ruckus, and we're not anti-PPP, we're not anti-APNU. I'm part of ANUG, I'm not anti-government or anti-PNC. We realized quickly that everybody has to be working together. And accountability is the first step in that. Transparency is the first step in that. And that's why we're fighting for minority government. Because clearly none of these governments are willing to give that up willingly. None of them are willing to give that power back to the people to ensure that they are doing what's best for all Guyanese and not just their friends and family. So we're fighting for a minority government to create a situation that they have to be transparent and accountable. They're not going to waste our children's money promising us a better future, but delivering on nothing. All right? There has to be a clear plan that cannot be interrupted by political interference. And ANUG's principle is to ensure economic stability. We have to make sure that these projects, even Exxon working, continues in a manner that will benefit all Guyanese, and that the government officials are not just stealing everything left, right, and center. That's all we're fighting for a minority. All right. All right. On that note, guys, I thank you all for joining me. I'm sorry that all of you had, all of you that follow me on Facebook and social media. It's been a rough couple of days. I said it on one of my posts, and I have to say it again to all the people close to me. From every part of me, I'm sorry that so many of you are dragged into this. I'm sorry that when something like this blows up and it goes into all the media houses and it's spread all over the place, I know you guys get calls. Oh, look at your friend now. Oh, look at how bad of a person he is. And I'm sorry. I'm genuinely sorry, because that's not what my intentions are. I'm hoping what I do will make Guyana better, and your lives and your family's lives better in the long run. And I truly hope that, for the future to come, I know that this is not going to end now, and I completely respect all the decisions that all of you make, but I really just have to say I'm sorry that these PPP and PNC will go to these lengths to attack and to be nasty and violent and slander, and so many of you are caught up in it just by association with me. So please forgive me, but I'm trying my best here, and I will continue to try even harder. All right. Things like this, they just push me to do even more and try even harder. All right. I'm going to be here for next year at least. We're on my way to 2025, no matter what. I'm a part of ANUG, and I'm going to be making sure I'm all that I can that we get a minority government in 2025. All right, guys. On that note, thank you so much for joining me. Please be safe out there. The roads are dangerous. Please make sure you have a wonderful weekend. The Warriors, I think, have started already or are about to start. So, I'm headed to Taco Loco, which we have on TV. We're not stealing electricity. We're showing the game. We have cold beer. We're going to be checking out I hope all of you enjoy the game. All right. And all of you that are there, I hope you're enjoying. On that note, guys, bye. I'm rambling now. Have a wonderful weekend. Take care.